Welcome to the Jam Happy Hour. Hope you are ready for a lovely hour of music, conversation, and just hanging out and getting to know each other a little bit better. This evening, we are going to be joined by Eric Dash, who is going to play some lovely music for us so we can get to know you a little bit better because you've got albums coming up, you've got things going on. Like, it's an exciting summer for you.
Yeah, it's definitely keeping me busy. Thank you for having me.
Busy is good. Well, we
Busy is
love to
good.
jump in right away and just kind of set the tone musically. How would you like to kick off the Jam Happy Hour with us tonight?
I'll start with a song that's not even released and it's coming soon.
Ooh, I like new. What's it called?
It's called Bystander.
Lovely. Here's Bystander from Eric Dash.
You could be a bystander in a hotel lobby, thinking that the world all around me has gone wrong. You could paint a big picture of what you hoped existence would turn into the instance you came along. Or maybe why you stake your happiness on the moon. What makes you think that when you get there, it won't just be a big balloon? I see you're scared again and the bags are packed to fly. Yeah, so you're off to Timbuktu. Oh, in my heart, it hurts for you. 'Cause there's no place that you found that you can hide. Yeah, and you scream and you dance and you go insane. So forget your love and drown the pain. And you fill with regret in your soul it saddens. And then someone says, Mary, don't quit before the miracle happens. And then you start again. You could be a fair person with a strong conviction that's mistaken for addiction that doesn't make it true. If the world is so against you, in the mindset that it sent you, you gotta change the way you frame it, 'cause that won't do. Oh Mary, why'd you stake your happiness on the moon? What makes you think that when you get there, it won't just be a big balloon? I see you're scared again and your bags are packed to fly. Oh, so you're off to Timbuktu. Yeah, in my heart it hurts for you. 'Cause there's no place that you found that you can hide. Yeah, and you scream and you dance and you go insane. And you ask the Lord why it never came. And you're so dizzy that your soul it saddens. And someone says, Mary, don't you quit before the miracle happens. And then you start again. Oh, they pack us in boxes in LA, waiting on the day for more wide-eyed kids to come around. We never went away. Oh, what's the point in doing this if no one understands? I'm just a simple kind of guy with a guitar in my hands. Oh, and you scream and you dance and you go insane. And you ask the Lord why it never came. And you're so dizzy that your soul it saddens. Then someone says, Mary, don't quit before the miracle happens. And then someone says, Mary, don't quit before the miracle happens. And then you start again. That's Bystander.
Bystander, which also happens to be the title of your first full-length album.
Yes, yes it is.
It's getting close, isn't it?
It is. And this is the first show that I played in a really long time. I haven't been playing shows for I don't even know, 6 months plus.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, it feels good to play. It's exciting to play this song because I haven't really played it for anybody, and I'm also it's like, oh, it's nerve-wracking to play this song, so it feels good, but it's just like, okay,
Like the good
yeah,
butterflies.
yeah, butterflies are here.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, I mean, was that on purpose? Did you kind of just like, pull yourself in and just focus on the album, which is soon to be released?
Yeah. Well, first off, it kept on getting pushed back because of like I'm just so particular about certain things. So I just went back and started tweaking more with the mixers and such. And yeah, in that kind of space when I was like fiddling with the masters and the mixes and trying to get everything perfect and like keep on delaying and delaying, I kind of just didn't feel in the right place to be playing shows. I just was not in the right headspace for that. So I just started making new songs while I'm tweaking these and writing a new album and started new projects. And I was doing a couple projects for some other people. So I kept myself busy.
It sounds like it is multitasking kind of your way of life.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, like to go so like one brain to the next brain. It's
Right.
hard to like switch, whether you're like being an artist and then you have to be a producer, which means that you have to stop. It's not about your art; it's about their art. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then being a mixer, which is not really like it is like producing in some ways, but it's more just like sound quality and like
Oh, I nerd out on mixing. I
science.
love
Yeah,
it. All the
yeah,
programs.
yeah, fantastic. So like,
But you also could spend weeks on like one part of a song. Like
yes.
you talk about being kind of a perfectionist and kind of tweaking. I mean, do you ever fully get to that point where you just take a deep breath and kind of release it and be like, that's the best that I can do. Let's print it and let's put it out.
I always do. But at the same time, like if I know that it can be better, if I'm like not satisfied, I will not compromise. I just will not. It's not in me. It's like if I say, "Hey, this is the best it's going to be." Great. But if I think in my head it's not the best it's going to be, then why am
Yeah.
I throwing it out there? You know what I mean? So, you know, I've been in the weeds trying to figure out the reason why for certain things. I've learned a lot over the past couple of years for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, yeah, there's always going to be something, you know.
Haven't we all learned a lot in the last couple of years?
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot to learn about.
Well, when it comes to music, everything is up to interpretation. So, I mean, I can certainly understand, where you want it to be its absolute best before you put it out into the world. But as soon as you do put it out into the world, it becomes something completely different. And how do you feel about that? Because it's not about what you make at that point. It's about what I hear and what I feel.
To tell you the truth, I don't really feel much about it. You know, like I never thought about that when I was making music. I never made music thinking like, how are people going to take this? You know, like what's going to work? Because whenever I do that, I kind of lose my vision as to what I want, and then the song kind of goes in this place, and I'm like, I was never like, I was always confused. It was always confused. So like when it comes out in the world, and I don't even know what to think about it. Like I never really thought about that. I mean, it's a great point. It's never really like, I don't know. Like my cousin called me with his wife, I guess a couple weeks ago, and he was asking me about a song I released a while ago called "Please Don't Be Far," and they were asking about the meaning for the song, and I was like, I mean, I just said it's pretty much about the lyrics. Like it kind of says what it is.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, I thought it was way deeper," and he went down this alley of like metaphors and double entendres or whatever he was doing, and I was like, no, it's
I didn't even think about that, but, I'm glad you did,
but that's the thing, like music, when you hear a song, it's real. If it speaks to you, it speaks to you for your
Right.
life. You know what I mean? And like that's fantastic. It's like that's what's so special about music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I could never. All I can say about it, all I think about that, thinking about it from that angle, is it's the best thing ever. Because then people can relate to you, even if they see it in a different way. They can you can still feel it.
Yeah.
The feeling is still the same.
It's like a kaleidoscope. It will always change. It will always look different, to everybody else.
Yeah.
But you can enjoy it individually, but also like when you're playing it live, you can also enjoy it like, as a group and collectively as well. And now that we're, getting to enjoy you playing live and maybe people are getting to know you a little bit better, where are you from? Where did you grow up? Where, musically, what was your like influence? Because I know you started playing at a very early age.
Well, I started writing at a very early age. I'm from New Jersey.
Like single digits.
Yes, 8. I was 8.
Goodness.
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
South Jersey, that is. I have to specify.
There's a
It's like
difference.
outside of Philadelphia, it's kind of like North Korea, South Korea, you know.
Never really had a birth that way before, but that's great.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure people would love that one. Yeah, but I mean,
If you're listening along and you're from Jersey, feel free to comment below. I can't wait to read that.
Like exactly. If someone's gonna be like from Paramus and be like, I highly disagree.
Do you
But
think growing
anyways.
up there had an influence on your musical taste?
You know, I really don't know. I definitely think geographically it has an influence. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Like, I think that a lot of it had to do with like my parents. I think a
Right.
lot of it had, like, I remember I drove around in the car and my dad played and my mom played Sheryl Crow Tuesday Night Music Club,
Wow.
and they played, like my first concert was No Doubt, like the Spiderwebs time.
Okay.
I was it
That's a
was
good one.
killer, you know.
That's a good
and,
one.
And so like I grew up, and my dad played guitar, and he loved Santana and that kind of. But I never got into Santana. I like Santana's amazing. He's amazing, but it wasn't
The
like
guitar
my,
skills alone.
Yeah, but it wasn't my thing. But it's
Yeah.
like, you know, but he was incredible, you know, and so like we had different tastes, but he definitely was musical, and yeah, it was like I guess that was a big thing for me. But I actually started when I was 8, and I started like writing parody songs, and then I was like Weird Al kind of stuff.
I
'cause
love it.
you know, and then I went to pop punk music,
Mm.
and I was doing like Blink-182 kind of bands, and I was in a bunch of bands for that. And I just
High
loved
energy.
Blink. Oh yeah, super high energy. The songs weren't that great. Let's be real. I was like
We're 8.
13.
Look
Yeah,
at-
the bands were like 13, 14.
Gotcha.
Started there, you know. But like it wasn't really about the songs as much as it was about the vibe of just like making noise and wearing high socks and pretending to skateboard. You know, like
Pretending to skateboard.
is you know, that's kind of what it was, you know. And yeah, and then I guess it just like it turned into the Counting Crows, and it turned into John Mayer, it turned into Coldplay, and that's the stuff that stuck for me. Like it really, Pearl Jam, like
Yeah.
oh,
And that's where you really kind of get into like the lyrics, the story, the feeling, you know, of the songs. And I mean, I love pop punk. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times the feeling of that song, those songs are just like, you know, I want to feel something. I want to go. When you get into that Coldplay, Pearl Jam kind of arena, it still has the energy, but there really is like a vibe behind telling the story in the song. And do you ever think of your songs as stories, or?
all of them are stories. That's what
Gotcha.
I'm always a story guy. Everything that I do is a story. So that's like the singer-songwriter in me, and those guys are singer-songwriters. Like it's just is what it is. Like they're singer-songwriters with you know rock guitars. Whereas like Blink-182, one of my favorite bands ever. I love them. Like so many amazing licks and great parts and just genius. But the story, it's not as much about like the story is like there, but like they're different kinds of stories. Like aliens exist, you know, like you know. There's,
But now they do. So.
They do. Tom DeLonge was right. You know what I mean? It's like
My God,
fantastic. You know?
2023. Who knew?
But just different kind of stories. Whereas like you don't have like, but they also like, I guess Chili Peppers sit in that realm too. But you know, like they have like Sir Psycho Sexy, which is like
Right.
like terribly sexual in a fantastic way. You know, he's talking about having sex with a lady cop. You know what I mean? Like it's
It's definitely telling a story.
yeah, shit's not happening like that today. It's not. It's they're trying way too hard with the bras, and I don't even know what they're saying.
Well, I love the fact that you still think in that story kind of mentality.
Yeah,
of,
I'm all
you
about
know,
that.
you know, and again, we go back to that, like, you know, what you write and what your story is, you know, I may interpret it completely differently, but it is that kind of like shared existence between the music. And speaking of the music, I would love to jump back in on
Yeah.
another song here in the Jam Happy Hour. What would you like to play for us next?
This is a song called Jealousy. It's my most recent release.
Oh, fantastic. All right, Jealousy with Eric Dash here in the Jam Happy Hour. Take it away.
My friends love rumors and they spread. trust every word, oh. Some of it's just rude. They put a bounty on my head. Now everywhere I walk, I'm met with attitude. All your judgment, all your lies, and all your phony talk. What has it done for you? I keep my head up as you pick apart the ones you call your insecurities to view. Oh, it's just jealousy you have. What makes you tear down the heart of someone who hasn't done you bad? Oh, it's just jealousy in you, yeah. And it will only do you harm, I know, 'cause I used to have it too. Oh, it's just, oh yeah. I found some places that I love. There aren't boundaries there, and the stars, they're not so far above. So when I feel this city that I'm in, I don't bear the need to stick around like space is dwindling. I play the part sometimes and forget the man I wanna be, yeah. But that's something we all do. If you're off track, blindly pointing at some faults you see, yeah, I know what you're going through. Oh, it's just jealousy you have. What makes you tear down the heart of someone who hasn't done you bad? Oh, it's just jealousy in you, yeah. And it will only do you harm, I know, 'cause I used to have it too. Oh, it's just, yeah. Oh, I don't wanna act like I'm not a villain. Sometimes I'm too. But in this world we all just say how we're feeling, yeah. What makes those feelings true? It's just jealousy you have, yeah. What makes you tear down the heart of someone who hasn't done you bad? Oh, it's just jealousy in you, yeah. And it will only do you harm, I know, 'cause I used to have it too. Oh, it will only do you harm, I know, 'cause I used to have it too. Oh, it's just jealousy, yeah.
Jealousy in the Jam Happy Hour with Eric Dash. It's interesting because, you talk about early musical influences being like punk and pop, and then obviously growing, into like a bigger kind of a space. But I'm hearing like some other kind of like sounds in the music. Who are you kind of into nowadays? Who are you listening to?
Well, that song was like, I wanted it to sound like, you know that song, You Get What You Give?
Yeah, from New Radicals.
There you go.
Love that song.
I wanted it to sound like Chili Peppers mixed with New Radicals, that one.
That
was like
I
what
love that.
That's what I kind of wanted for that. Like somewhere in between. And I usually play a solo there, and I was thinking about it because I've been only playing an electric. I went, all right, I'll just like, all right, it's kind of, I'll practice that next time.
That's a great vibe. That.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do that and actually go after it. But yeah, that's what the idea was of it. And like I remember playing it, it was just like all the songs are just like the band in the studio. It's not like I didn't change anything. It's just like us playing, which is cool. And it sounded so good as the band, but I was like, it needs the New Radicals thing. So if you go listen to the song, there's this piano that
in
comes
my head
in
right now.
Oh, well, there's a piano that comes in the second verse, and just like my buddy that's playing piano is so fantastic. He's awesome, so good. And you just hear him just start rocking in the second chorus, and it makes the song. Like that's the most special part about that song for me.
That's really cool. And especially since like you can kind of think of the songs in like two different ways, whether it's like an acoustic stripped down version here with you,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, thank
But
you.
then also like with the full sound, the full band and how it can be like so different and, you
Yeah.
know, so much more. But I love that New Radicals reference.
Yeah.
Excellent. When you do get the new album out here, again, it's coming up quick in the very near future. You said it had been pushed back a little bit, but
Yeah,
when
it's
do you
keeps
think
getting
you...
putting I think that I just got back some mixes that I really love, so I just need to have them recalled in the mastering process. So honestly, I'll finish up some records in the next week or two, and then just upload them and have them out in the 2 weeks after that. So like I'll start the whole movement again, but I'm just gonna shoot them out one after the other, like weekly or every 2 weeks for a little bit, and probably end of October, early November. That's the new date for the album because just like give it some time to grow.
Yeah, I got to make it right. How do you feel about the new way that we're doing music these days? The fact that you yourself can decide, okay, 2 weeks ago I dropped a song, here's another one, and you just boom, it's out there. Like you don't have to go through any kind of distribution or anything. Like it is in your hands 100%.
There's good and bad. I have a lot. You know, I've been doing this for long enough to have a lot of opinions about it. You know, and I've helped a lot of artists with like making the decision of how they're going to release too. It's like so I've tried a lot of things. I've seen what, and everything works. That's the thing about it. Like there's nothing that doesn't work, and there's nothing that does work. It's just like the only thing that truly works is just continuing to put out music because that's how you just got to feed the algorithm, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like Spotify, even if you put a song out like in a week later or 2 weeks later, Spotify doesn't allow you to promote it on their platform for their playlists within the month. So that's why
Of
people,
release.
yeah. So that's why people like spread it out monthly because Spotify is like, no, you can only pitch to editorial playlists once a month. So it's kind of like, I feel like that's what I believe it to be at least. Maybe I'm mistaken about that.
I mean, isn't it crazy we have to think in terms of the algorithm at this point, though? It's like,
Yes,
especially, you
yes.
know, being in entertainment, being in media, like it changes so quickly that what, like you said, what could be the way to do it a month ago is not the way to do it anymore.
Right.
And you constantly have to stay on top of that. Do you have someone that kind of like feeds you that information? Because it is the Wild West out there, it feels like.
It is the Wild West. That's exactly what it is. And do I have someone? No.
That's a lot of work.
It's it's you have people that jump into to your world, but I don't take that if your team is different than someone that you're paying to promote you.
Very good distinction.
You know, so like, do I have people that I work with here and there? Yeah, of course, because you have to pay for promotions like a company. If you create a product, you have to pay to market that product, or otherwise, it doesn't matter how good that product is, it's gonna die. But like, but with music, it's really hard because you pay people, and they don't deliver on promotion a lot of the time. Some people crush it, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of companies that like charge out the wazoo and like stick you on the side. You know what I mean?
You have to be
like,
very diligent.
It's rough. So like
He's like,
so I look at them as like team members for a song or something, but I look to my friends that are like knowledgeable for advice for like real stuff. You know what I mean? And that but I don't want to like hit them up too much. You know, you don't want to like, you gotta.
well, you do a lot of this on your own
battles.
too, though.
You
know?
can, but like
No,
I'm doing
you
a lot.
specifically, like
Yeah,
you're multi hyphenated when it comes to this whole project.
No matter what, everybody can get overloaded sometimes. I feel like I'm doing a great job.
I think so too.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, okay, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm happy about it, So like, I watch my friends though that I'm like producing for, and they're doing so much promotion, and they're teaching me so much about like how much you have to promote and what it is, and I'm like, wow, like I need to step it up. But that's really how you learn. You gotta watch other people do it and say, okay, that's cool, you know.
What's the beauty of collaboration? It's like, it's a two-sided coin. On one side, you can help each other grow sonically, but also on the flip side of that coin, by collaborating, you can see how other people are working, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and being able to learn off of each other on both sides, I think just makes, collaboration a beautiful thing. If you could collaborate with one of your favorite artists, who would you love to jump in with?
I mean, it depends. First off, John Mayer is like my biggest up there, just because like
It's up here.
yeah, because I feel like I've said this before to people, but like I feel like I've learned just a lot just from learning his songs, and I just learned a lot from watching him play, as like different things, like little things, like how he like how literally the strap sits on him, like what's the most optimal way for your standing position, kind of thing, like little things. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, what is he doing that gets that performance out? What are the little things? And you make all those little adjustments, and it's the same thing that people like in sports teams do. They make all these little adjustments, and I've watched him for the little adjustments. So honestly, if I could collaborate with him and learn from him in real time, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like the 1975, like fantastic. Lainey Wilson and Hardy,
Oh, yeah.
come on, awesome. Like
You're dropping great names.
those are the kinds of people that I would want to collaborate with. And also, like I started another project, which I'm not even going to talk about really right now. But
Don't talk about it then.
It's a dance project, but it's
Well,
not
that's
even,
fun.
It's not my name for it, but it's I'm just going to release it and see how it does. But like for that, I would definitely have some completely different people that I'd.
Oh, yeah.
collaborate with.
That would be like total other side of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, but still songs. There's still I can't stop making songs, but there's
You
still like,
are just like the multitasker. You have always got like 1,000 things going on.
it's a lot of things.
If given the choice, are you going to jump in? And it's a tough question, and I'm sorry ahead of time. Are you going to, jump in on your music, or are there days where you just want to jump in on somebody else's and have like a whole different perspective?
Well, it depends. Right now, I'm 100% my music. I'm finishing up something for someone else, but like, I have no interest in taking on any more projects for other people
Gotcha.
right now, because it's like fully me. But there was a point where I was like, in the middle of an album for one person, and I jumped to another album for a different person, and then it's like you're hopping in between, and like I was having so much fun making those albums for them, and then I was
Right.
like, like a year or a year and a half goes by, and I'm like,
Oh,
what about me? Oh wait, I forgot about me.
what about me?
Yeah, I should do this for me too. So I was like, okay, you know what I mean? And it depends. It's like it comes in waves.
I want to jump back to the beginning for a little bit because your first project that you put out in 2019, I'm curious, was that pre-pandemic? Was it as it was happening? So this was before.
Yeah.
Great timing, Eric.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It was great, I bet.
Yeah. It's
But
cool.
it was called Unspecified. And I kind of love, what I read, you can tell me if I'm wrong. You kind of went with that because you didn't really know what the sound was going to be, or,
Yeah.
you weren't
Exactly.
sure. So you just kind of went with whatever came.
Exactly. I mean,
That's kind of fearless.
there's something interesting about not knowing anything. And I still don't know anything, but I know a little bit more than I did in 2019.
Right.
So like it's like, we're always learning and always growing, and if someone comes into a session and says something, I'm like, I don't know, let's try it. You don't know until you try it. Like I don't know. But then at that point I had never produced anything. I was always just an artist. So I got my program, got my Pro Tools.
Your Pro Tools, your
I
Adobe,
got my
what'd you
Pro Tools.
use?
I used Pro Tools. I got an Avid HDX, and I was like, okay, let me figure out how to do this. Let me make some sounds on my keyboard. Let me play my guitar. And then I was just
Isn't
make
that
some
fun,
sounds.
though?
Yeah, I used way too many plugins. I
You're talking my language now.
yeah, and just like made and just I thank God had a great mixer. But there was a vibe about it, and just like I didn't know. I had when I sent out the productions for mix, I had no idea if it was going to come back good or not. Like my brain couldn't fathom whether it was going to be good or not. What I did was right or not.
Right.
So when it came back, I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like, you know,
I should do this again.
yeah, this is not that bad. Yeah, it was definitely a fun project, and I think there's some freedom in not knowing. So like, I kind of want to get back. That's why I like the dance project right now. It's like there's freedom in not knowing, but also
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this album to come out so people can see what I did with the band, which was like just a band in a room, and then I want to do another one. You know, like it's
Always evolving, always changing.
yeah. I want
So when you go back and you play those songs from Unspecified, do they feel different to you now? Have they kind of grown, you know, along with you for the last few years, or
they
I've always been
absolutely feel
interested with
different.
that.
They absolutely feel different. And they have different meanings to me. I haven't played them in a while. Like Talk is one that I want to get back to playing. If I could, is a great song I would like to get back to playing. You know, Don't Take Time for Granted. It was always like a track kind of song, so I would have to approach that differently. Like I just think about it in a different kind of way now, like because I'm having so much fun. Just like, you know, I can sit here and play Jealousy all the way through, and it sounds great by itself. You don't need anything. Whereas like some of those songs, you need the production because it's so pop, and it's like about the production.
Yeah.
And you know, it hasn't been my vibe to do that, but it'd be interesting to go back and redo the parts of the song to make it work for just this, so then it turns into a different thing.
Well, from what I can tell about you, Eric Dash, is that you tend to enjoy a challenge. So when we circle back around and we do this again, perhaps in person in Napa with Jam Cellars, I want some of that fresh new stuff. But in the meantime,
I love that.
I want to jump in on another song. We are halfway through our Jam Happy Hour already,
Cool.
and I know we haven't
Cool.
had any wine.
Yeah, we should do that. We can do that. We can do that
We'll
next.
prepare for that. What would you like to
do that
play
next.
for us next?
We'll do a cover.
Awesome.
I want to do a couple covers for you guys today. So this is like this is a song that my father used to listen to growing up, and I always associate it with like wine drinking and not schmoozing, because schmoozing is
Not
manipulative.
schmoozing.
Not
We-
schmoozing, apparently.
That was an off-camera conversation, which we will circle back to.
But yeah, he loves Eric Clapton, and this is
Oh,
Layla.
yeah. Oh, Layla, beautiful.
What will you do when you get lonely? No one waiting by your side. You've been running and hiding much too long. You know it's just your foolish pride. Layla, you got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Oh, darling, won't you ease my worried mind? I tried to give you consolation when your old man had got you down. Like a fool, I fell in love with you. You turned my whole world upside down, Layla. You got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Oh, darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Make the best of the situation before I finally go insane. Please don't say we'll never find a way. Tell me all my love's in vain, Layla. You got me on my knees, Layla. Begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind, yeah. begging, darling, please, Layla. Oh, darling, won't you ease my worried mind?
Does that make you bring back those memories of Dad playing and
does.
you being at his foot? Like, I'd like to do that one day.
Kinda, you know. I haven't actually played that song in a very long time either. And I was, and this morning, when I was thinking about this, I was just like, I'm gonna play my songs, and I was like, you know what? Layla just reminds me of drinking wine, so let me just like run through Layla again. And I was like, this is so great. What a great song.
And I'm sure it brings back great memories. I mean, I love how, memories are attached to songs and, it's like you can just go right back there. I was talking with a friend of mine because I do a couple of different formats in radio. We were playing Soft Cell, Tainted Love. And I can still remember the very first time I heard it. And I had this whole memory in my brain. I'm like, I was at Christy's house. It was the boombox. It was the backyard. We were at the pool. And I wonder if that's actually real. So I called her. We're still friends. And I called her. I'm like, do you remember this? And she's like, absolutely, 100%, like it was yesterday. So music has that incredible like pathway straight into your brain, and it attaches to memories like that. What kind of memories are you hoping that people will be making to your music?
That's an interesting question. I hope that people take road trips. People take road trips and they listen to my music on the road trip. Or they're on the plane and they're sitting on the plane and my record is the plane song. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's travel songs. Like I want to be those songs. I want to be this song that like, you put your windows down and you're staring up at the stars and you hear it like that. Like it's not like going out like and drinking, getting all messed up and like trying to hook up with someone. Like that's not,
No.
I'll put on Drake for that, But which is great.
And it works.
It's a different vibe. Yeah.
It's very interesting that you say that because I actually have two different playlists for my flights. One of which is all John Mayer, and it's Room for Squares. It's Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. It's very just like, oh yes, oh, so good.
Yeah, totally.
So good. But you're right. It's a travel vibe. It's like you're kind of coming down from the crazy. You're setting yourself up for whatever's coming next. I will absolutely add that to my travel playlist. And if you're listening and you're enjoying and you're liking the vibe, please go and search Eric Dash. You can find him through his socials, Facebook, YouTube, obviously whatever platform you listen to, whether it's iHeart or Spotify or there's others out there too. Just search and add because honestly, every little click and like really does go a long way in sharing the music and sharing the art and, spreading the word for, like some new up and coming artists like yourself. So everybody feel free to share the love. Your karma will appreciate it. Now, I mean, I love diving in and just kind of going down a wormhole of music. Like I'm going to jump in and follow like, go into Eric Dash and then it'll be like, oh, we recommend. It's like, okay, well, and I think people need to explore music a little bit more kind of in that way. Like, let's see what happens, what comes up in the algorithm. There's that damn word again.
In the algorithm. I'm going to actually, I was thinking about something you said earlier. You were saying once the music's out, it goes out into the ether. And I actually am like tweaking things to like replace the audio on these things. And when it does, I feel like everybody's gonna really they're gonna listen even more to the songs that are out now. They're gonna be like, wow, this really is the car. This really is the, and because when I heard it on Spotify, I'm like, hey, I want to make some tweaks because this could be better in the car. That's what.
It's a whole different experience. I mean, it's one thing when you're listening, in your ears, and whether it's over the ear, cans, or in ear, like they're all different. But there is something about in the car. Windows down, maybe. You're feeling the bass differently. You're feeling the whole production differently. Like I always think of it in layers, but I'm slightly music nerdy like that. Like I like it to be multi-layered, not the big room sound, but like I want to hear my drums. I want to hear my guitars. I want to hear my vocals, and I of course always want to hear the story. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you think about it in a placement versus just anywhere.
Yeah, I think about it in terms of space because I think I actually think of the room as an instrument too. Like the room is like one of the biggest instruments that's not used today, which is sad because I love the room. And I
And we
think
all
of
have
it.
our room set up. Your room sounds
Yeah.
great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of like it's pretty balanced. It's a pretty balanced room. This is good for this.
You can tell. um, when it comes to travel songs,
By the way,
and
I'm gonna pop this open.
you
Is that
pop your
okay?
bottle while I talk.
I'm gonna pop this bottle.
Are you popping the red or the white?
I think I'm gonna go white first. Should I go red first?
Oh, butter Chardonnay. It's a lovely choice.
Okay.
By the way, if you guys want to jump in with us, we've got the wine locator, which I used today to get some butter bubbles
It is a
delivered
happy
to my
hour.
house. Fantastic. But with all the new stuff that is coming up for you later on this year with the music, and obviously still tweaking, but eventually it will be out into the world. What will be coming up next for Eric Dash? Once that is there, are we thinking shows? Are we thinking support?
Yeah.
Traveling?
What is honestly, there's a lot that's up for me, but I just don't know. It depends. Everything depends. It's a really weird business. Like this is not a business where you can make a plan. There's no plan. I'm on the non-plan plan, you know, and
Teach
and
me your ways.
yeah, and the non-plan plan simply is this. I found someone that I really think they're great and they're going to promote the music.
Mhm.
And they're going to do a great job. So there's
Cheers to
that.
them.
Cheers to them.
Cheers to you.
I'm gonna get it out soon, and I can't wait for everybody to love it and hear it. And we're gonna do a vinyl for it, so we're gonna release a vinyl.
Oh, you
It'll
know,
be fun.
that leads me to another question when it comes to music delivery these days. You know, I can remember being a kid and, you know, running to the store, grabbing vinyl, and being so excited to take it back to my little single turntable in my room and just wearing it out. Then I remember CDs coming along and being like thinking those were the coolest things in the world. And then I remember my first iPod, and it went digital.
I still have mine. I still have the first.
I have it
generation.
too. I just can't let it go. It's like there's some good music on there, a lot of no doubt.
Oh, nice.
But when it comes to delivery of music, do you think of it's like, oh, this is going to be a vinyl or this is going to be a digital, or it's just like, you know what, however it gets out, it doesn't matter to me. The vinyl scratch is just euphoric, but
I
you
think
know.
that it depends. You know, like it really depends. I think vinyl, no matter what, is great, but I think it's if I did it again, which I'm going to, I would definitely do it differently. And it's not because I don't love it. It's because when you think about like the medium for me, like I think about like the bands that I like to listen on vinyl, and I like to think about the music, and it's very analog based. And there's a lot of analog that's about this record because it was done in an analog studio, and it's all real instruments. But
Wow. Okay. Well, that's bearing the lead.
yeah, but at the same time, like a lot of the stuff that I love to listen to is like a lot of tape, and it's mixed with a lot of analog gear, and it's not all digital for that. And I think about that kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, if I'm doing it again, I just want to get weird with that process. And I'm gonna I'll probably do it myself that time because like I know that if I'm gonna go get down that alley, I don't know how many people are gonna want to go down that alley with me of like really.
If you need somebody to cut and splice, I'm your girl.
Okay, fantastic.
It's where I
So,
learned.
I plan on just like getting a ton of outboard gear out here, and
Wow.
a few like tape machines, and just going at it, and just pulling my hair out for as long as I can. You know what I
Be a
mean?
very interesting process. I think after, you know, as much of a perfectionist as you are, I think after a few retakes, you'd be like, all right, let's just go to digital. Let's just pull out the Pro Tools.
You know, I'm definitely stubborn, so I don't know. We'll see.
You're like,
We'll
I'm
see.
determined to make this work.
Yeah, I think first off, I think digital's amazing. By the way, I actually love digital. It's not that. It's just that I love analog too, and I feel like there's things that digital does, and it's a tool. It's a tool. An analog is a tool, but we forgot about one of those tools.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to bring back. It's like it's not about like not doing digital because digital is fantastic. It's
Right.
not like it's more along the lines of like, hey,
I can have all
this
of
is-
your music in a heartbeat
Yeah.
right here
right
for that
It's more-
reason.
it's more like this is cool too. Let's find what's cool there and let's find what's cool here and do a little bit together instead of just being like we're just gonna go here. You know what I mean? And I think that's important for vinyl. I think that's important for those records because if you listen to like Casey Musgrave's Golden Hour on vinyl, that
yeah.
thing sounds fantastic. And Sean Everett was the mixer on it, and he was not. There's no way he was fully in the box. He was definitely doing some weird stuff with tape, and it's like, no way.
You can hear it.
Well, he's like a mad scientist. You should see his like. You can check out like he's on Mix with the Masters. You can see his studio. It's wild. It's wild.
There's so many different things to learn and see and learn from in this crazy industry that you knew from a very early age that you wanted to be a part of. And, you know, here we are with Bystander in the very near future. And we love that you're here in the Jam Happy Hour playing music for us. I'd love to jump in on another song.
Let's do it.
Will it be an original or a cover? What are you feeling, Eric Dash?
I'll do one more cover for you because you mentioned that you have a John Mayer playlist.
I do.
So I'm going to do a John Mayer cover for you.
I'm a happy girl.
Just for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Eric Dash and the Jam Happy Hour.
Well, Olivia's taken, but a look like hers can be found from time to time. Yeah, well, Olivia's taken, yeah, but a look like hers can be found from time to time. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need to find. There's only one man in this world who gets to sleep with her by his side, yeah. There's only one man in this world who gets to sleep with her by his side, yeah. I'm thinking something like Olivia's what I need to find. Now I'm not trying to steal no love away from no one man. Now I'm not trying to steal no love away from no one man. But if Olivia herself were at my door, I have to say I'd let her in. Something like Olivia, yeah. Something like Olivia, yeah. Something like Olivia. Something like Olivia. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need to find.
Something about Olivia. That's a good one. That's kind of a deep cut. Born and raised, right?
Yeah. Great fun.
So
Great
good.
song.
Your guitar skills are like really on point, and that's something that takes a
thank you.
lot of practice. How many hours are you playing each day?
I mean, not as much these days.
Too much mixing and producing, but even offline before we jumped on here live, like even just talking, like you can't not play. Like you're
Well, yeah, 'cause I'm like this. It's like the fidget spinner in your hand. It's like
Right.
It's not, it's I used to play so much, and I play a bunch. I haven't played acoustic in a while because like I've been having so much fun playing electric and doing different songs. Like playing a show next week, and we're doing some Lenny Kravitz tunes and different things like that. And it's so much more fun to play like those tunes because on electric, just so it's also a very like acoustic guitar is it's a different instrument than electric guitar.
Right.
It's a bigger neck and it's harder to play and such. So like I'm used to like just being super chill right now. So it's
it's
definitely-
like working out a muscle.
Yeah, I'm like I kind of forgot about it, and I'm like, I should have practiced acoustic for this instead of just playing my electric. But at the same time, you know, now I'm like, okay, I want to get back to acoustic. But yeah, I think it's I've been playing a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't start playing like really until like I was in my 20s.
Well, yeah, because you said you started off writing and then,
Yeah.
you know, doing more of that. But at what point, I mean, I know your dad played guitar. At
Yeah,
what
well-
point were you like, I'm going to try this?
So like Blink-182 is just
3 chords, yeah. Very Green Day.
you know
Also-
it's just like all of that palm muting stuff, and you can
Palm
do that
muting.
pop punk stuff, you know, and it was so simple, and I just thought to myself growing up, I don't need to learn how to play guitar really. I could just like write with basic chords, and I like writing, and that's what it was. It wasn't until like John Mayer, and then I found Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan and
wow.
Hendrix, that was everything for me. So I went down to like that rabbit hole for a long time, and I'm still in it. You know what I mean? It's just like I never got out of that. I love Stevie Ray and all of that.
God,
So
such a talent.
so yeah, fantastic. They're really wonderful. So you know, I did that for a long time, and then I kind of, you know, you lose a little bit if you don't practice, obviously. So
Sure.
it's a push and pull. You know, you produce for someone, you don't play as much for a few months, then you come back, and it's like, okay, let me get back for a few months, and so you go, you know, let me mix an album. It's hard. So right now it's hard to keep up with it, because you have to, you know, live and buy groceries, all that
Well,
kind of
that
stuff.
too. But at what
Yeah.
point did you realize that you were really good at it?
Oh, thank you. I still don't think I'm really good at it.
Aw. I think you're really good at it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
It's
it.
been a beautiful hour of music and also conversation. Got a little bit of time left, but
Cool.
I know I would love to jump in on one more song if you got one for us.
Yes, I do.
Is this the new one?
Well, it's another
Newest?
new one. We can do another new one. Let's do another new one. That's not. Here. Yeah, let's play this. This is
Switch
called
it up
Learn
on
from
you.
Last Time.
Perfect. Thank you.
You say chivalry ain't dead. Oh, I beg to differ, yeah. An illusion in your head. It's meant to get you through the night. Oh, if I'm a betting man, I'm proud to be the loser. Oh, 'cause I won't make you feel like you are lost and I'm the light. You want someone to rip you down. I don't know why you want someone to treat you bad. I'm not that guy. You want someone to keep you up at 4 a.m. You won't be home till God knows when. And why won't you? Why won't you learn from last time? Learn from last time. Yeah, escape is what you want. Some loving arms for just a moment. So I will sway you back and forth. I'll touch your hands and kiss your skin. Yeah, we drive right through the night just to spend some more time. An arousal bittersweet, as now my heart is caving in. You want someone to rip you down. I don't know why you want someone to treat you bad. I'm not that guy you want, someone to keep you up at 4 a.m. You won't be home till God knows when. And why won't you, yeah? Why won't you learn from last time? It's to yourself, is that why you go to church so much? To rid your soul of what you do. What makes you think a little prayer will be enough? The change has to come from inside of you. You want someone, yeah, to rip you down. I don't know why you want someone to treat you bad. I'm not that guy you want, someone to keep you up at 4 a.m. You won't be home till God knows when. And yeah, why won't you? Why won't you learn from last time?
I gotta tell you, that's one of those songs that, as we were talking about before, that's gonna hit me a lot different than it hits you. And that is the beauty of your music. I think it absolutely cuts through, and I am a fan of Learn from Last Time. When is that little baby gonna be out in the world?
That's one of the songs that I just tweaked right now because I just wanted it to be like perfect. It's like it's one of my favorite songs on the record. So that's
Yeah.
going to be out soon too. The first one that's coming out, I'm between a few of them actually. But like one of them is very Coldplay influenced. One of them is very Dave Matthews influenced,
Ooh.
and the other one is very Pearl Jam influenced. And I'm like, which one do I go with? I'm like,
That's
happy about it.
tough.
Yeah, you know, but like they're obviously all me. You know, like I say
Yeah.
that, and it's like, you know, it sounds like me, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna hear it and you're gonna be like, oh, he was listening to Sparks probably. It doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like. It's not like it just sounds like that feeling. You know, it's just that.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's just that feeling. So.
But it's still very uniquely you know,
Yeah.
and I've really appreciated getting to know you and your music better. I'm excited for all of this that's about to be out in the world for you, single wise, album wise. We'd love to have you come back around once everything's out into the world and just kind of discuss what that feels like. But in the meantime, the best way to follow you is jumping onto the playlist and making sure that we're following on all the platforms. And we here at Jam Cellars will absolutely be watching Eric Dash for more in the very near future. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Cheers to you, by the way.
Thank you, Jen.
Absolutely beautiful performance. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Cheers to you for having
All right.
me. Appreciate it, Jam Seller.
Anytime. Good night.